Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this on the replay. Well, this is our online session to explain what you need to work on activity 3. What you need to do on activity 3, okay? Activity 3 corresponds to unit 3, right? And, well, the evidence that we have here, as you can see, is this one. The tennis tournament, evidence interactive activity, holiday cooking, and what will have happened by then, okay? So, well, today is August the 1st. I wish everybody to have a wonderful August. We have about 19, well, no, like 2 weeks. We have probably 17 days, 2 weeks to work on our program. The deadline to send all the evidence is going to be August 17th. Quiero recordarles que la fecha límite para enviar todas las actividades va a ser el 17 de agosto. Okay, great. Okay, the deadline in Sophia Plus is August 19th, but remember that you will be finished, probably you will finish that 2 days earlier, okay? Great. Okay, so let's go over this information. So we have forms, right? So yeah, we have, I'm going to switch to the view of your view, that it's the learner's view, okay? So that probably it's better for you. We're going to go to Contenido del Curso, which is the link where we can find the content of the program. And we have to click on Proyecto, then on Activity 3, and when you click here, you will be able to see the learning guide. That is a document that you can download, where you will be able to see the instructions to carry out each one of the evidence, okay? So yeah, great. So I am going to check here as well. This one material, What's Cooking Good Looking, which is, okay, is the name of this part, right? So we have here, that is the name, okay, of this activity. What's cooking good looking? The meaning of this expression is an idiom. Idiom is something that is not literal.
What's cooking good looking? I cook with.
And the meaning of this, it's something that we usually, like, it's a funny way to ask, what are you doing? Yes. And well, to be honest, probably it's not used by everybody. Probably grandparents might use this expression. Okay, what's cooking good looking? Then we have contextualization, and well, on the contextualization, but you're going to listen to an essay, right? That it's about San Basilio de Palenque, that have it's known by its culinary tradition, right? So well, on this part, I'm going to explain some topics or some of the structures that we're going to consider to carry out the evidence of this unit. And here you can see adjectives with ed and ing. So let's look at some examples. I think that when we look at the examples, it's easier to understand it. So we have different words. For example, here, my husband gets so bored when I watch cooking show marathons. So it's like, that is the way her husband is feeling. His or her husband is feeling, right? So here, for example, we say amused or amusing. So I can use both. The difference is the meaning. When I say I am amused, it means that I feel amused, I feel entertained, I feel delighted. when I say I am amusing, it's probably because I am the kind of person that makes people laugh, right? So a comedian is amusing, right? If we think about if you are a Colombian person, you probably can be related to, or you have heard of Liz Pereira or Ricardo Quevedo, um, or El Águila Descalza, which are comedians that are amusing. Yes, so they make people laugh, right? When I go to their shows, I feel amused. Cuando voy a sus presentaciones, yo me siento, bueno, entretenida. Amused es algo que entretiene, causa risa. Okay? So when I say amusing es algo que entretiene o causa risa. Amused es yo estoy entretenida, yo me siento o, a gusto, ¿no? En el sentido de disfrutar un show que me causa risa. Okay? So when I say amusing is what causes me to laugh, right? Bored, boring, right? So it's different if you say I am bored, es estoy aburrida, right? If I say I'm boring, es que soy aburridora, right? I am making other people feel bored, yes? So boring is something that causes people to be bored, yes? You can say a TV show is boring, a book is boring, a class is boring. There are some people that are boring. It depends on what you consider boring, right? Confused or confusing, same thing. So if I say I'm confused, estaría diciendo estoy confundida. Si digo I'm confusing, es que yo soy confusa. Algo que genero confusión. That is the difference, okay? Good. So we have different examples. For example, interested, interesting, frightened, frightening. Well, we have different examples. Satisfied, satisfying, shocked, shocking, tired, tiring. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to show you some examples here because you have like the meaning. We can see here. I am not interested in eating meat. So it's how you feel about eating meat. No me interesa comer carne. Or sí me interesa. I am interested in eating meat. It depends, right? She's disgusted by the thought of eating its insects. So she's disgusted. Es como se siente en ese momento, right? Then when we use ing, so for example, the marathon of cooking shows was so long that it was boring for my husband. La maratón, ¿cierto? Fue aburridora para mi esposo. Okay? So meat is so common that it's not interesting to me, right? Insects are disgusting to many people. Aquí ya estamos, los insectos, cuando decimos disgusting, es que causan cierta incomodidad, ¿no? Como sentido de asco, ¿no? Insects are disgusting to many people. So well, that is kind of the difference. You can see here another example very well. Usually when you say the expression with ed, and I'm going to go back for a second, ed usually refers to how you feel about something, right? So I was excited to see you when I picked you up at the airport. Estaba emocionada de verte cuando me recogiste en el aeropuerto, ¿cierto? O cuando te recogí en el aeropuerto. Present participle, the soccer match was so exciting because at the end of the game, the game went to penalties. Entonces el partido fue emocionante porque al final se fueron a penales. So that is kind of the example, right? This is how you feel. Usually this is for a person, yes, or for an animal, could be as well. And this is for anything, yes? For a person, for an animal, for a situation, for a circumstance, for a book, a radio program, TV show, anything, okay? Anything. Anything that causes you this feeling, okay? Okay, let's go to the next part. The next part says future perfect with will and going to. This future perfect is not very common to use it, but sometimes we use it. In Spanish is when you say, para ese momento ya habrá llegado el avión, para ese momento ya habré terminado la universidad, para ese momento ya habrá sucedido algo más, ¿cierto? In English we say this: to talk about an action in the future that will take place before another action in the future. So one action is the party will start at 9 p.m. and I will get to the party at 11 p.m. So this is going to happen before I get there. Yes. So the party will have started by the time I get there. So this will have started. Yes. It's the present perfect, the usual present perfect, but we're going to add will, right? In terms of the structure is that. So for example, another example would be this one. By next February, I will have gotten married. By the time I get home, my coworker is going to have uploaded all the files to the cloud. She's not going to have finished her report by the end of the week. Will you have learned enough German to communicate before you move to Berlin? Amanda is probably going to have written her thesis by the time her vacation ends. By the time I finish this project, I will have written at least 100 activities. So it's like that idea of what could happen, or what plan you have that you think is going to happen after another action. Yes. So Amanda is probably going to have written her thesis by the time her vacation ends. Yeah. Good. Another situation would be, I arrived to Paris today and plan to live in 8 months. This is for another use. So when you talk about the duration of an activity before the specific time in future, yes, I arrived to Paris today and plan to live in eight months. So here, by the time I leave Paris, I will have lived there for 8 months, right? Another example would be, she will have slept for 5 hours by the time the plane lands. By next summer, she will have been in jail for 10 years. Sonia will have worn braces for over 3 months by the end of the year. So it's when you're not specific about the time, but it's something that will happen in the future by sure, yes? Okay. And the other example here is to express certainty about the occurrence of something in the near past. So by the time you get there, the doctor will have left the office. You know, like when something is for sure, yes? Carolina is going to have completed her exam by the time the timer goes off. I will have finished eating by the time you arrive. So let's have lunch another day. I will have finished cooking by the time you arrive. So probably the lunch is going to be ready when you arrive, right? Something like that. So here we can see some common expressions: by tomorrow, by tonight, next week, or next Monday, or next year. So here I will have finished that report by tomorrow. Yes. By 3 o'clock, for example. By 3 o'clock, the plane will have taken off. By the time they get home, I will have finished making dinner by the time they get home, right? Okay, well, you can see the structure here. We usually say I will and have done something, like the past participle is very similar, right? I will have eaten the pie by the time my wife gets home. Okay, will they have left by the time the bus comes? We don't know. Okay, when will you have finished cooking dinner? Here an example: by the time you get a job, when you get a job, your dad won't have retired. Okay, good. Well, you can see here more, you can see here a list of irregular verbs to know what is the past participle, right? And then you're going to find some vocabulary that can be useful for this topic, like food vocabulary, okay? Well, then I invite you to listen to this essay about San Basilio de Palenque, right? And you can click here and you will be able to listen.
When you think about internationally renowned chefs and cookbook writers,
okay, so you can listen to this as many times as you want, and you're going to see the use of these expressions that we have been talking about, like these characteristics, right? And well, some vocabulary related to food, yes, and all that. Some of the expressions related to the future in terms of plans that we think might have happened at some point. Yeah, good. Then you will be able to listen to, well, no, to carry out some exercises, comprehension exercises about this reading, and then you will practice structure and vocabulary here, and finally you will have the pronunciation practice where you can find 3 different exercises. I think they are going to continue with the exercises related to writing the word based on the phonetics, right? So here you'll say roast, yes, and then you can continue with the other words. Good. This is the material. Now I'm going to show you the evidence, and the evidence is here. This one, the tennis tournament. On this evidence, you will see here in this document the instructions. Well, it says the tennis tournament. So you're going to look at a schedule of Colombia International Tennis Open, yes? Based on the schedule that you can see here, what matches are going to take place, yes? And some information about commuting, transportation, food, games, and accommodation. You will create the timetable, right? What is going to happen at the different times, as you can see here, okay? Good. And then you will write an email, right? And you will tell a friend, yes, what would have happened, yes, in detail, what would have happened. You can guess the winners as well of the matches, yes. Your friend needs, here is your friend, needs to be back home by 9 a.m. Sunday morning, and your friend is not a big fan of tennis, but you are. You need to include interesting details about the players, the games, and the tournament. And you are going to use the schedule to demonstrate how you are going to have finished some of the activities during the day, right? So using this structure, by 5 a.m. we will have left home, okay? It doesn't have to be a long email, but you can include some details that you consider important for this activity. Then we're going to go over the interactive activity that is holiday cooking. We click here on Brainstorm. But remember that when you're ready, you need to attach your file here, right? You click here on Ver Evidencia and you can attach your file. Good.
Interactive activity.
So we have the interactive activity, it's holiday cooking, and it says, let's prepare a dessert for a holiday dinner. As you are my kitchen assistant today, your duty is to select the ingredients I need in order to prepare a brownie, yes? So let's go over the ingredients. You need to choose the ingredients they need. So you can see the ingredients here: brownie in a mug, a quarter cup of flour, a quarter cup of sugar, a quarter cup of cocoa, right? So here, I need a quarter cup of flour. So you're going to choose the ingredient that it's, sorry. Yeah. The second one, a quarter cup of sugar. So you need to select the ingredient here, okay? And so on with the next ones until you get to the end, okay? No more than 2 mistakes, I guess. And finally, we're going to check on, I'm going to close this one so that we can move forward to the next one. So, sorry, let's go over this one that it's evidence well with what will have happened by then. So on this evidence, what will have happened by then, we have here the instructions. And you're going to predict, yes, some information about these events, right? So you can change it here for Australian Open or US Open, because these are the tournaments. You can change it here for a tournament that has not happened yet, like the US Open, right? Good. Oh, well, the idea is to, well, you can see here the example, right? And you're going to say some facts about sporting predictions, right? What you think will have happened by that time based on these sports events, okay? If you want to speak about a different event that is not sports and you want to make predictions about it, it's also good. I mean, you can do it. Just write down the name of that competition that probably you want to speak about. It doesn't have to be related to sports. It can be related to a different topic that you like better than this one, okay? And you look at the example, you can see on the example what you can say about this event. The idea is to make some predictions using the structure that we just learned. And that's it. That's all we have for this unit, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this information is useful. Remember that you need to attach your file here, and the deadline for this unit is always 8, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you on Thursday if you're available for the chat. Bye-bye.